Hey, this is Joe from Joe & Sons Wood Shop. Today we're just going to do a quick little repair, how to repair. I'm sure most everybody out there, anyone's ever had any little wooden stands or tables with these legs that just screw on. I'm sure some point in your life you've had one where the leg has came off. And a lot of times that's because the hole that it screws into gets bolted out or a piece chips out of the center of it or something. Well, it's not going to stay on there right at all. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to fix this in a quick, easy step. All you're going to need is your busted table, the leg, a drill and drill bit. And you don't have to have one of these, but I do, so I'm going to use it. And that is a flush cut saw. You don't have to have a wooden mallet. I do, so I'm going to use it. A rubber mallet, a dead blow hammer. Heck, even a regular hammer will work the same. A dowel rod. And a little bit of glue, wood glue. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the leg and we're just going to, where the original hole is, we're going to do our best to drill it out straight, just deep enough to sink the dowel rod in and glue it. And then we're going to trim the dowel rod off flush. And once that glue's dry, we can pre-drill it and screw that baby right back onto that table leg. Or, excuse me, table. Screw the table leg back onto the table. So let's get at her. Sometimes this can be pretty tricky depending on how your hole tore out, because like this one's tore out to the side a bit, so I'm hoping I can get it drilled out all right. I was going to use my drill press, but it's not big enough. Okay, let's see here. Excuse me, I'll be right back. I think we're going to change it up a little bit and go with a smaller bit. Yeah. Because I just don't like the way that one's seating. It's wanting to walk on me a little bit. Not quite wide enough. You're going to have to test fit it ever so often. We're getting close. It's not quite there yet. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect because you're never going to see it. It's just got to hold a little bitty table up, right? Almost. now I think I'm gonna switch back to the bit that is the right size for this dowel, because I've got the hole, I think, stabilized enough to where I can make up the rest of the room with this. And that'll give me a nice straight cut all the way down. There we go, just like that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, we're gonna take our glue, pick the glue boogers off of it, because you forgot to clean it off last time you used it. But who are we kidding? We all like picking the glue boogers, don't we? All right. I always put just a little bit of glue all the way down in the bottom of the hole. Then put some glue on the outside of this dowel. Just spread it around. A little bit more. Because this glue is going to give it a stronger bond than the wood grains themselves. It's not going to come out of there anytime soon. Like, you won't be able to break it. Then, now we got our rod glued and our hole glued. We're just gonna work that dowel down in there. And we're gonna take our mallet, tap it till you hear the sound change. Then you know you've hit bottom. All right. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's some squeeze out around that dowel, which is what we want. Because that dowel, or that glue around that dowel, will help to fill in that void there as well that's on the side, because mine's a little bit torn out. So what else we might do is just put a little bit more glue down right in that void. Let it settle. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. I didn't get a towel. Excuse me. Be right back. There we go. Just gonna wipe it off as best we can. See, I mean, even without the glue, that dowel is tight. But since I drilled the hole a little bit, just a hair bigger than the diameter of the dowel, it'll give the glue a chance to expand when you're pushing the dowel in, because that glue's got to have somewhere to go. And if your hole's too small or too tight, that glue ain't going to go anywhere, and you're not going to get that dowel in all the way. Or it's just going to, if your hole's like mine, it's got a tear out on the side, it'll just squirt right out, for lack of a better term. So now what we're going to do, we're going to take our flush cut saw. Comes, mine did anyway, with a nice little plastic cover for the teeth of the blade. I'm gonna bring you over closer for it. See, that's my little Chinese built table. Has a tag on it that says made in China. Anyway, here's the saw. It's got fine little teeth, and basically it cuts on the pull instead of the push. So they're also called Japanese pull saws because that's where they originated at. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it And see, you can see the squeeze out better now. We're gonna take this pull saw, or flush cut saw, whatever you want to call it. And we are just going to cut this off as flush with the bottom of that leg as we can, because we can always come back and sand it down a little bit if we need to. The nice thing about these saws, the blade's real thin, so it's real flexible, and you can get right up to the surface against that you want to cut. For some reason it's binding on me. And there we go. See? Perfectly cut. Flush with the leg. So you can see my little, where my hole was tore out. And what we'll do after that glue's dried, we'll take a drill bit, the size of our little screw right here. Sorry, right there. And we'll pre-drill that dowel, and we'll just thread her right back on and it'll be done. So here in about, give it about an hour or so for that glue to dry. It ought to be dry enough to drill that out. We'll get at it. So see you in a few. Okay, so it's been about half an hour or so, and the glue is pretty much dried enough to drill the dowel and not mess anything up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my leg and I'm gonna use that existing screw that's in there, and I'm just gonna center it on that dowel and take my mallet and just give it a little tap. And what that does is that gives me a mark, tells me where to put my drill bit. And my mallet is loose. I'll bring it around to you so you can see. Okay, see the mark right there? The dowel is nice and flush. Got the mark from the screw. That's going to give me a place to start my drill bit and hopefully keep it straight-ish. So let's try it. Now, I didn't go with the full size drill bit for this screw because I want that to really bite into this, the threads on that screw to really bite into this. So I used a size a little bit smaller. Now we're just going to screw it right down on there. And if a person wanted to, they could even put a little bit of glue on the base of this leg and really tighten, make sure it's tight and stays. And there you go. It's like that. we have a fixed table. So, I hope this was informative. If not, well, that's unfortunate. But until next time, this is Joe from Joe & Sons Woodshop. Have a great one.